Hey, jump in and buckle up for another ride in the passenger seat where we take you on a ride throughout the sports world, one interview at a time. And I'm sitting here on this fine Wednesday evening with my partner over here, the correspondent, Keith. How you doing this evening, my friend?
I'm doing good, Jack. Happy New Year to you. Happy to be back to work. You can't get paid if you don't work first. So,
Man,
I'm ready
I'm
to
happy
go.
to have made it another year, and you start getting up in age and you start losing some friends at young age, in his young 50s and 60s. But I was sitting up on New Year's Eve with my daughter. This is going to take us a little bit, but sitting up New Year's Eve with my daughter. My wife was sick as a dog in bed. So we're just sitting there, nothing big. And we're sitting on the front porch. And you can look across my house and you can see the Wye River. A lot of people know the Wye River famous for catching crabs and stuff. But that's where we spent 2000 New Year's. And 2000 New Year's, all the world, the apocalypse and the world's going to end and all this, So it's just funny that 26 years later, I live across the water from where I celebrated the year 2K, I think that's pretty neat.
That's really cool. It's really cool.
Let's roll on. Happy 26, everybody. Let's have a good year.
Let's
I
do
got
it.
some mail. Gentlemen's got mail again, Keith. Ain't that amazing?
Man.
People are really liking, I like the mail part, but I don't mind coming to your game or whatever you got and we exchange some stuff because I'm getting ready to have some swag out and I plan on repaying this with some of you guys. So what I got here, Greenville, South Carolina. You know what's down there near Greenville, South Carolina, Keith?
I think you're going to surprise me. Hit me with it. What you got?
A university that's very kind to my family because of my family. My sister-in-law is an alumni and a booster at Clemson. We sit in the president's box when we go to Clemson games nowadays. So I was mentioning, I know what this is. I was mentioning Dabo Sweeney's hat one day. Even though they had a terrible season this year, I'm still a big Dabo fan. And I think that's what she said to me. Let me bust it. I don't need a knife. Ooh, Cookie, look at this. Go Tigers written inside the box. I go.
Bottom of the box. Okay, that's cool.
She always does funny stuff, man. This is from my sister-in-law, a big supporter of the show. Good God, look at that.
Oh yeah, the old C.
Yes, it is the Nike too.
Yeah.
Oh, and got the tiger on the back.
That's sweet.
These tigers are all over down there in Clemson at the gas station, the SO. Every shop has a tiger paw on it. I mean, within a 20-mile radius of the campus. It's so amazing.
Cool.
If you ever get a chance to head down to Clemson University, I recommend it, dude, for any kind of event, basketball game, baseball game, whatever. Their campus is phenomenal. So Pfeiffer family in Greenville, South Carolina, thank you so much. That's an amazing gift. Anybody would like to get down, here's where you can send things to. I wear an extra large flex cap, any snapback. And I do nowadays, I'm down to a 2X shirt. So let's go. And hell, you want to tighten up the correspondent, he wears a large.
Yes,
I can forward it to him. But it's a fun thing, guys. I really enjoy some of the logos. I'm looking forward to this Linganore stuff I got coming. Spoke to the AD at Linganore at the state championships. He said, I'll send you a bag. I'm like, all right. So they got an old Arrowhead as their logo, Keith.
like the Florida State Seminoles, kind of.
Yeah, but a little dirtier, a little more rustic.
Okay,
it's pretty badass. So I'm looking forward to Linganore. They said it's in the mail, but I guess nice. I'm not counting my chickens before I hatch. I'm just having fun. So let's move on.
Mail. That was awesome, Jack.
Thank you, sir. Let's move on because we had to have some changes. I was advertising that I was going to have University of Maryland head baseball coach Matt Swope, and things just getting hectic for him right now. Their season getting ready to start February, so something came up that overlapped, and we got a curveball for you. And I'm happy to say it because when I scheduled this guy, he gave me a little rumble, like, damn, March 4th. I can read it in a second. Good. And so when I hit him this morning, he said, Coach, what do you think? He said, I got you. So I wanna introduce to you guys, man. This guy right here. I've seen him, he's come up, Pilates High School, Spaulding he's at now, and he's been doing phenomenal things. And what is that? The MIAA, I think. We'll confirm that with him, what his conference is called. But I want to introduce to you guys Spaulding High School head basketball coach, Mr. Josh Pratt.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Coach. Welcome.
Hey, for the record, when you text me about March, all I need, you got to understand, I'm going to forget. This brain is getting old. You just got to let me know, man. You got to text me or something so I can remember.
You sounded antsy is the way I took it. I took it as man, I'm trying to be on tomorrow.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, like I told you, we just keep it easy here, man. Easy like a Sunday morning. It's like a bunch of guys just sitting in the barbershop, and which I miss doing because you can't argue in the barbershop no more because you got these cell phones now that solve all arguments. Nothing like leaving the barbershop, both of you thinking you're right.
Into that.
And that's how I grew up. Went to a barbershop in East Pines for over 40 years. So talking 40 years back in the day, we always start our show off, Coach, by asking the guest, give me one of your earliest sports memories, something that got you to be this guy, sports guy you are.
Well, one of my earliest sports memories is I actually got two. I got one. I remember my mom coming home and saying, hey, I've got these tickets for your birthday. And for the Redskins, going to old RFK. And I didn't realize my mom had season tickets. I think it was like section 408. And, it's a baseball stadium. So it's literally in the second tier, but over the home plate kind of. So they were kind of catty corner to the football field. And I thought that was just one of the best birthday presents I ever got. And then later on, I was able to go watch the Bullets play. And one of the doctors, my mom was a nurse for over 40 years. And so one of my fondest moments was actually in the locker room seeing like Tom McMillan and Greg Ballard and, they having the, they had that kind of like a club level and having a steak and then walking down because Dr. Singer gave us tickets, and that was my first experience really with kind of the Bullets. So I'm a hometown guy, I love now the Commanders.
You can say it on the show. You can say it on the show.
Back in 89, I was cut from my high school team and I was kind of down in the dumps. And my mom, again, Dr. Singer came through and I ended up being a ball boy for the Bullets back in 99. And Wes Unsell was the coach with Jeff Bezdelik. And then his son was a ball boy who ended up being the Wizards coach, right, for a little while. So, I've had some experiences for sure, but those are the two, going to RFK and kind of going to the Cap Center and watching the Bullets and the Redskins back in the day.
Good old Cap Center, man. Good old Cap. I got so many memories of Cap Center. I used to sell merch on the median.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
I'd be out there selling shirts at the Grateful Dead concert, man, making money hand over fist. It was unreal.
Yeah,
at least
it was more than sports. It was music events,
concerts. Seen my best concert there. I seen Pink Floyd there, dude. The best light show I've ever seen. I got a lot of memories at the Cap. Man,
I saw Purple Rain and I saw Purple Rain and Bon Jovi. Those were my concerts I went to there.
Well, when I got a little older, I think we were probably about 23. A friend of ours named Lenny, he started this security for the arenas, and it's the guys you see in the event staff, the yellow jackets and all that. Well, we played on the same softball team as this guy, and he gave about 5 or 6 of us from the old neighborhood jobs. You didn't get nothing. You got like $17, but you're at concerts. I mean, you're at basketball games, front row. Well, we went to a couple concerts. I think it was one of them hair metal bands. So there was lace everywhere. And I'm the guy blocking backstage. So I'm getting hotel keys put in my pocket, lipstick kisses all over me. I'm just letting people fly, boy. And we ended up getting fired.
Oh, that's funny. Gentleman Jack, you couldn't turn it on and off, man. You just had that charm.
Got it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, thank you, coach. You must know me. So tell me though, I was a big fan of the Bullets back then. I went to West Unseld basketball camp at Bowie State. Who was your favorite Bullet?
Oh,
I know mine.
My favorite Bullet.
You too.
Growing up, I think. I honestly liked. I have to say Bernard King. And the only reason I would say that in his later years, obviously, was, I had a relationship with him, as being a ball boy, feeding him jump shots before games, things like that. So I'd say Bernard King. I mean, Jeff Malone.
I like it.
Was a really good player. Wes Unseld was in past his prime when I was kind of growing up. But yeah, man, I mean, I used to play pickup games with Manute Bowl. They'd all go down to Belleville Rec Center.
I played with them at Berwyn Rec.
Yeah, so I played pickup at Berwyn Rec. So we would play pickup at Berwyn Rec. Yep, 10 to 12.
That's where his cousin lived in Berwyn Heights.
Yeah,
right off Pontiac Street.
Manute was a great guy.
Hey, Celinda, you gotta tell my wife. She's like, yeah, Jack always says he played with Manute Bowl. I'm not getting her, but I'm closing my door.
I dealt blackjack.
Yeah, you too.
Manute Bowl.
No, that's cool, man. I mean, he was one of the best human beings I've ever been around. Once he got to know you, I mean, he was just a great guy.
He used to hang at Bennigan's in Greenbelt.
I believe that. I mean, Bennigan's was 5 minutes down the road from Berwyn Heights Rec Center.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Yeah. So, you're younger than me, man. So you probably caught the tail. I don't know. Yeah, I'm Glick's age almost. So you're probably, 10 years younger than Glick?
I met George Mirasan once at a charity golf event. He wasn't in my foursome, but I spent a few minutes with him, and he was just about as nice as he could possibly be as well.
I think George, didn't he live in Crofton? Because
yeah.
I don't
he
know.
Lived in the Triangle,
George, but you would see him around, at the car wash or something in Crofton when I lived there. But I didn't really know George like that. But
nice.
He lived in the Triangle in Crofton. That's right around the golf course.
Yeah.
And then he stayed over in what's that called over there? They just expanded the community. It's where all the Bullets used to live. Woodmore over off Lotsford Road.
Yeah.
George used to live in there. I did cable TV install for George. I did it for Trey. What was Trey's name? The big lineman for the Redskins.
Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson.
Trey Johnson.
Yeah. We're all about Trey Johnson. Yeah.
I put carpet in his house.
The Bullets' best team, was with Weber and Rasheed Wallace. I just wish
underachieved.
I just wish they would have and Murasan and all those guys. I mean, that was a hell of a team. I just wish they would have kept them together.
Yeah,
they couldn't do nothing in the East with Mike.
Yeah, well, nobody could, but
right. Detroit, couldn't. I don't know.
They gave up on that too quickly. They gave up on that. I felt.
I agree. I think they gave up on it too quickly for sure.
Yeah.
So coming out, you played a little bit of high school ball, you said, and you got cut?
No, I never played high school. I didn't try out my freshman year. Honestly, I didn't have the grades. I was kind of short.
You said
I went to High Point. Yeah,
Wellsville.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and was cut 3 years. I tried out 3 years. My high school team, my sophomore, junior, and senior year, and they were really good. Back in '89, my senior year, I don't know if you remember Wayne Bristol, who played for Gary Williams. Wayne was one of the first recruits. He was a sophomore, and then they had a transfer from Germany named Christian Ast. And he ended up actually going to Duke and playing with Leitner.
Correct.
He didn't play.
Oh,
he didn't play. He didn't play because they were so good, but then he transferred.
But wasn't he like 6'10"?
Yeah, he's about 6'8", 6'9". Yeah, he was big.
He's a big guy. Yeah, I'm a Duke fan.
They ended up winning the state championship that year. And I used to play pickup with those guys down at Berwyn Heights, Beltsville, and all those things. And there was a kid named Steve Brown, actually older than me, but he told me really a 20-minute conversation changed my life. He told me to go to MC Germantown and to play because they always needed players and literally always needed players, almost needed bodies and everything else. And so one of my good friends, Tony Saunders, drove me up there. I got introduced to Coach Hobson, who changed my life. And one of his assistants was Mike Glick, Coach Glick. So, that's kind of how I started my basketball journey. Played 2 years in junior college, kind of worked my way up. The running joke was I was the 15th man on a 13-man team. And really worked my way up. And honestly, a couple kids failed off the team, which I went from like the 8th or 9th guy in the rotation to starting. And so became like an all JUCO player, all region player. And then one of my best friends, Rob Moxley, was actually an assistant with Gary Williams, was a high-level assistant coach at UNC Charlotte and everything. But when we played in college together, he got a scholarship to Newberry College in South Carolina. So when you were talking about the Clemson stuff, I've seen the Pauls in the gas stations and everything.
That's heavy, ain't it?
Oh yeah. So Newberry is about 45 minutes south of Clemson. So
yeah, I know where is that?
Or north? Yeah, I think it's south. It's in between Columbia and Greenville. So. Tried out down there for 3 days, and Tom Quinn offered me a scholarship that Sunday when I left. And Robbie and I ended up being roommates and good friends and everything else. But I played 2 years down there, NAI Division II, started, came off the bench. I was kind of a glue guy, utility guy playing down there.
Okay. Well, Keith, let me see what you got for Coach. Let me see what you got for Coach.
I want to go back just a touch, if I could. What was the sports dynamic maybe in the house when you were younger? Did you have siblings?
Actually, my sister growing up played softball, and my brother, who's younger than me, we're all 4 years apart, right? So I'm the middle, but my brother played football at High Point and played at Montgomery College. It's funny, he was 250 pounds as a freshman. I was 125 pounds as a freshman. So I was tiny. I was a late bloomer where he was the starting center. And at that time, it was the heaviest line in PG County. They averaged like 315. And so, yeah, like my dad played football. My brother played football. I was a basketball player. But my sister played like middle school softball and stuff. So we got a little talent in the family. You know, my Uncle Jimmy on my dad's brother played at Eastern High School in DC, played baseball and basketball. My dad was a swimmer and a bodybuilder and a Gold Glove boxer growing up. He went to Phelps in DC. So my family, my mom and dad grew up in the DC area.
That's really, really, really cool. When it came to basketball, Coach, were you really entrenched with the X's and O's of the game? Were you like sort of a nerd and a student for the schematics of basketball?
Not really. I gotta be honest with you. I just love to play. I was when I say I was a self-made player, you know, back then, you know, we played pickup. There was no trainers like it is today, you know, or what they call cone killers, you know. You would play pickup games at a Berwyn Heights, at a Beltsville Rec Center, you know, Sligo. And if you lost, you sat an hour. And you had, in these pickup games, you had some alpha males, man, guys that would come up and grab the ball and say, "Hey, I got next. What are you going to do about it?"
Oh yeah, we all been a part of that.
And let me tell you something. And guess what?
Yeah.
You said you got it, and you kind of walked away. And I got next after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go up to the quad at the University of Maryland, and they had a big court, and then they had all these small courts. And if you were a legit player, you played on the big court. You know what I mean? And so I think nowadays, kids don't know how to persevere. They don't know how to work through adversity at times. And that's how I learned. And I learned to keep your mouth shut and keep playing. And you had to earn your respect on the court. And if I had to set some screens and reverse the ball for my team to win, guess what? That's what I did. Because maybe I didn't want to get my butt kicked by the best player sometimes. But no, but I'm kidding. But it was like that. You had some alpha males. Everybody knew who the best players were.
You got in where you fit in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you worked to. That's why you showed up. It was to improve that hierarchy, on the court. At least how it was for me. That's a great.
And then, I'll say this: like playing pickup games, and then I went to Montgomery College. That's where I learned how to play. Patterned offenses. Like we ran the flex, right? Gary Williams ran the flex. Still a great offense, although people think it's outdated. Everybody runs the version of the flex, okay? Although everything's 4 out, 1 in, or 5 out, whatever. There's always some sort of flex cut out of it, okay? And I couldn't figure out why I was getting my butt kicked in Montgomery College and then go down, and all of a sudden, like I started to really play well in these just open runs. And everybody's, and that's where I got my confidence because people were like, man, you've gotten so much better. And so over those 2 years, I figured out, going back to your question, like X's and O's and everything else, really learning how to play, know. So it's kind of a combination of things.
Mm-hmm. So, playing at MCC, did you ever play at Tacoma Firehouse? Tacoma Park Firehouse? You got to pass it from PG County.
I don't think so, honestly. I don't think
I played a lot of facilities I played at. It's crazy how many.
Yeah, I tell you where I played at up in Germantown was a place called Brown Station. That was outside. There was a lot of.
The Firehouse was indoor. It was a small little place.
Hillendale. Did you ever play at Hillendale? Yeah, Hillendale was right off of New Hampshire Avenue. Played there too.
You did. You said the quad. I hear the quad's got cut down. I hear they cut it all down at the violence.
Yeah.
And I was there several times. It was the DC. I'm sorry to point fingers, but the DC guys were coming in there roughing people up.
I played. Where I played at Prinker Fieldhouse. That was always open.
North Gym was another one.
Northwestern high school kids would play there.
Yep.
And literally the only white dude there playing, but.
Yeah. Did you go turkey thicket?
No, but my dad and my
uncle
Jimmy did. My dad and my uncle Jimmy played back in the day there.
If you didn't play, you watched some ball, dude. I mean, I played with Sleepy Floyd down there one time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sleepy was with the Rockets when I was a ball boy. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty cool to kind of stand next to him. I went to one basketball camp, Lefty Drizel's basketball camp back in 1985. And there was a guy named Dominic Presley who passed away. I was in 8th grade. He was my coach. He played at Mackin, I think, for Paul DiStefano, who's a mentor of mine, who's an assistant at Bullis now. Dominic gave me a lot of confidence, that's, and then you would sit in Cole Fieldhouse and watch all like Len Bias and, I'll tell you a story. When I got the job at Spaulding, Derek Lewis was there. He was the old coach.
I love Derek.
And Derek knew me from work in Maryland's camp. And I'm like, Derek, I don't think you understand. I know all your stats, man. Like, I know you played at Carroll. I know everything. But he always treated me with a lot of respect. I think he's still like the all-time leading shot block leader in the ACC history or something like that. He just a great man. Great guy.
He had hops. And Lefty Drizel camp. I've mentioned this with Sideline Junkies many times. I was there in 80. I think it was 80 or 81. Uh-huh. And I show up with a Duke shirt on. Balls. I was probably 13. balls. So I'm in there duked out, right? Yeah. And I had a nice 4 days. I think it was 4 days because ceremony was on Friday or something. So ceremony, and they give you this little certificate. And then Lefty throws a shirt at me, Turk shirt, smacks me in the head, dude. And that was a fond memory. I ran into him 30 years later, and he said he remembered it.
That's funny.
So that's a great memory I have of a great man. I loved Lefty. Lefty was great. We've had some great coaches over at Maryland. Speaking of coaching, I mean, what kind of coaching style do you have over here at this Archbishop Spaulding, man? You guys have been putting together some nice seasons these past couple of years. Tell me what you're doing.
Thank you. I think we play a up-tempo style. I think, nowadays it is 5 out, a lot of spread offenses, a lot of what they call Spain action, 4 out, 1 in, zone pressure back to man, trying to change some pressure situations, full court man. I think the kids really like to play an old school, kind of like an old school Lakers style play, back when Magic Johnson's Showtime, like really get up and down the floor. I preach 2 ball reversals and work inside out. But I try to keep it as simple as possible, but really fast break, right? Like get it up, share the basketball, that type of thing, and really try to up-tempo teams is what I try to do. At the same time, you don't want to shoot yourself out of games because I think you can build leads and then guys kind of feel themselves a little bit. And what ends up happening is you shoot yourself out of leads and all of a sudden it goes from a 20 to 10 point lead off of 3 possessions, so you got to be careful there too. We do scout, we do a bunch of things, but what we want to do is set the tempo is what we want to do.
Sounds just like what Coach Glick said to me last week.
Yeah, well, he's a good mentor of mine. He's man.
No, it sounds very familiar, and it's the type of game I liked playing. I mean, I even got limited minutes from some teams I played on back in the day because I ran that type of Lakers thing. If I get the board, let's go.
Yeah,
we're not kicking it out to a guard. Let's go. I'm gonna get in the middle and let's run this thing. And yeah, the pastor, I played in the church league of Salvation Army in Riverdale, Bladensburg area. And yeah, the pastor said, "Yeah, Jack, we don't play that showboat stuff."
So, Jack, were you a point guard, or were you just get it and go and you just made plays?
Yeah, you get it and go. I could go down. I could play down low. I mean, I'm not the tallest guy, but I could play down low, and I loved it. I love to shoot jumpers. When the 3-point line started getting painted on the outdoor courts, I was loving it. And and of course, we started playing 21 threes or 2, layups or 1, and street ball in my neighborhood. No blood, no foul. I can't stand crybabies that call ball every time.
Yeah,
let's play the game, and I like fast pace.
You didn't do that you didn't do that anywhere we played. You call foul, they just look at you and go the other way. Like the tougher guys, And I say this to my team that the more in shape and the tougher you are, those are the teams that win. At the end of the day. So try to do things in practice as far as tough drills and some old school drills. We try to build that in along with some. I got a great staff. My staff is really, really good. And so I got some young guys mixed with some old guys. And so we kind of mix it up a little bit. We try to go with the old and the new and try to make practice as challenging and uncomfortable at times as possible.
Yeah, that competitiveness in practice really, creates the badass player, if you will, those good habits day in and day. You just can't, kids don't want to hear it sometimes. You just can't show up to the game and play your best. You got to put the work in.
Absolutely.
So, glad to hear you say that. Yeah. Coach, one thing I wanted to congratulate you on, I was reading something earlier. You're well over 300 wins now as a head coach.
Thank you.
That is, I got it around 350. Does that sound right?
I think it's around 350. I got to be honest with you. So there was a little confusion earlier. People called me on the phone and said, "Oh, you already got your 300th win." Well, the Baltimore Catholic League, Chris Pica does an excellent job with stats, right? He works for ESPN and just does a phenomenal job. but that's the boys side. So I have over 300 wins on the boys side, but people forget that I coached 4 years of girls basketball varsity at Pilati, and maybe a better coach. And so I was there 4 years. We were I want to say top 5, top 10 in the Baltimore area. 3 out of the 4 years. My first year, we were in the B conference, and then we were able to move to the A and be very, very competitive. McDonough and Spaulding at the time were nationally ranked teams. And, I had some really good girls. I had about 13 to 15 girls go on to play college in 4 years, from Seton Hall to McDaniel College. So, but it made me a better coach. It really did.
Oh, man. Let me get to a couple comments. We got Midnight Rider, Ben Conti came in to help us out with that Derek Lewis thing. Derek Lewis has 339 blocks, 100 more than second place. That's a record that's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
So
good players are staying in school, so it's definitely not going to happen. It's not
no doubt. That's what I was definitely thinking. It's going to be season records is all these kids can go for nowadays, because 4-year stars, bye-bye.
Yeah, so that's going to stay.
Yeah,
Midnight Rider chimes in also. He wants to well, first of all, let me get this one here. Did he say Carol Lyons? Rawr! 333. Here, kitty. All right, I said it for you, Midnight Rider. He's a Carol Lion, and I tease him about their little sayings they have over there.
They got a guard there that's going to Vanderbilt. They're really good. They just beat O'Connell last night.
I saw that.
Yeah, they're good. They're really, really good, and their coach does a great job.
I saw that. I wanted to get out to that game, but I'm definitely going to catch a Carroll game because Midnight Rider's over that way. And as I say, he's alumni. So he comes to you about this season. He wants to know, what's the outlook going forward this season for your squad? Where are we? Halfway point almost?
As a matter of fact, I just sent this to my kids last night. We have 14 games left. We are right now. So this is no excuses, right? Nobody's going to feel sorry for us. So I've been a varsity head coach for over 20 years, and we've had some really, really tough injuries. I had one of my guards catch pneumonia and had the side of actually had his lung drained and was in the hospital. I got him back about 2 weeks ago, so he's rounding into shape. He's a commit to East Tennessee State, a kid named Colt Bussey. And I've been out without my point guard, Cam Carter. So we played PVI and we played St. John's and we played some teams, and we've took some L's. We're 10-8 overall, but we played Father Judge, who's top 3 in Philly. PVI obviously is top 5 in the country with Jordan Smith. We've played a bunch of teams, and it's obviously St. Francis and Mount St. Joe's in our league, John Carroll in our league. But it would just be nice to get everybody healthy and get strengths and practices together. And we're honestly very, very close. So the outlook is bright right now. I'm just going to hold the rosary and pray that nobody else gets injured. And I just got two of my kids' health back cleared. But my 2 high-profile kids are top 25 in the ESPN in the sophomore class. A kid named Nash Avery and a kid Braxton Bogart, both from Anne Arundel County.
I've heard of Bogart.
Highly rated kids, and they're even better kids off the court. They want to be good. They work out. They are extremely talented kids that are being highly recruited, but they're young, right? So, I think this schedule's really helped them mature and grow up. And we had a great practice today. And we just got to keep it going. This weekend, we play Mount Carmel, who's one of the top 5 teams in the state. Then we go and play Springdale Prep. And then we have Gonzaga, which is on Monumental Sports on Sunday. So this is kind of the gauntlet. And this is kind of the last weekend where we're playing back-to-back. And then we play Lehigh at Morgan State, which is our last out-of-conference game, which is going to be a phenomenal game, too, at Morgan State. So and then in February, we got to focus in on the tail end of the season, and we play in 2 leagues. So we play in the MIAA conference, and then we also play in the Baltimore Catholic League. So we have 2 tournaments at the end of the year. So we got a little ways to go.
Is this weekend, Coach? Is that Clash of the Titans? Is that what they?
It is. Yep. Yes.
What they call that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's at Calvert Hall. They changed the venue, so we play at 6:00.
Got it.
But there's a string of games there Saturday and Sunday.
Coach, a question about, you mentioned recruiting. How has that changed the last 20 years for you, as far as, you know, the dynamic, the parent involved and all that? Has that been consistent those years, or what changes have you experienced?
I think the biggest thing is we treat it like a college program. So you've got to stay in contact with the parents. You got to stay in contact with the players. I can't be everywhere, so just being seen, right? I mean, literally, me or one of my assistants could. There's so much in the DMV, you know, from Baltimore to DC to Virginia. Like there's tournaments every weekend. You literally can go to a tournament every weekend, and I'd be divorced if I did. But you know, it's kind of a cycle. You know, I have 4 weeks of basketball camp, try to get them to basketball camp, try to develop relationships. I don't think that's ever changed. I think that's consistent. Then they come and shadow Spaulding, you know, with a host and be a Cavalier for a day. Then they have to, you know, turn in the application and, you know, obviously financial aid and, you know, teacher recommendations and obviously grades. That all has to match. And like, I know you've had some other coaches on here from Spaulding, Joe Palumbo and Kyle Schmidt and
Great guy.
Swope and some others, but you know, it's the Spaulding way, right? Like, I was at Rhythm Dribble over in Laurel. Guy Daryl Adams runs, and the Odenton Elite team asked me to come and speak. So I go and speak at AAU for AAU programs. And the first 15, 20 minutes, I didn't even talk about basketball. I talked about the school, or what a Spaulding student really entails, right? You know, being in uniform, shirts tucked in, obviously being to class on time, getting your schoolwork done. And my role is I work in the Learning Resource Center. So, you know, basketball for me is like is important, but I'm also kind of like the director of basketball operations, right? So I'm a mentor to kids outside the program, but I also check on their grades. I follow up with teachers, things like that. I run the testing center. So I've got a great job. I do. I taught for 25 years, but you know, it's all that stuff, right? It's contacting parents if there's an issue with grades. It's, you know, being a facilitator with all that. So that's the most important thing. And then I get into style of play, coaching, who's leaving the program, who's coming in, you know, things like that. Classes is important, right? And these parents are extremely smart nowadays. Now with social media and IG and X, you know, they see where kids are going. So a lot of times in the DMV, kids are going to get slotted. You know, if a person's coming to Mount St. Joe, then the other guard might go to Spaulding. If one kid comes to Spaulding, they might go to because they want to play, right? So you have to be really careful. You don't want to over recruit, but you also, there's that fine line, right? You know, parents are going to look at every situation. They're going to come watch games. They're going to be a student. And I tell them, watch the bench, you know, watch our decorum, watch our alignment, how we do things. And I think all those things are important.
Sounds like somebody I know. No, incredible. And I really am inspired by how you go about your coaching duties. Phenomenal. I believe you go above and beyond. We need more coaches like you out here, Coach. You're helping mold these young men into a future, because, like you say, NBA is not guaranteed, and you keeping them on their grades and you know, just things. I'm sure you got some charity things lined up in your program. If I know what kind of coach you are, that's phenomenal. I can't wait to come out.
Well,
I was thinking.
I'll say this. Or both of y'all are more than welcome to come to any game you'd like. We got a lot of
That's where
home
I was
games.
going.
We got a lot of home games towards the end. We've been on the road a lot, but I'll say this: I can't do it without my assistant coaches. Clyburn Cunningham is a young, innovative coach. I was telling you about old guys and new guys. The these of the world. Kerwin Porter, who's an AAU coach. And Cly is too. I've got Joe Wallace. Those three are they are AAU connected, right?
Gotta have it. Have it.
Yeah, and then Devon Chandler is another great coach in our program. That he's kind of our calm, cool, collected guy, and he's kind of our director of basketball operations. So he helps me send emails out to parents and just to give an update. We do a coaches meeting once a week on Zoom. Those types of things. I've got Coach Parrish who we lift on Wednesdays and Saturdays, right? So he's in and he's innovative because I don't know half the stuff now. I mean, I was dumbbell curling and bench pressing. Well, he's stretching these kids. He's doing all kinds of calisthenics within, working weights. And then Andrew Rose is my freshman coach, who's a young guy. He's about 25. That's green. And, Ray Bush is another kid. So we've got a big staff for sure. So I want to give a shout out to those guys because I couldn't do it without them, and what I've learned over the years is delegate a little bit, right? And trust in these guys. And these guys have been, the majority of these guys have been with me since I'm in my 7th year. I'd say the majority of them have been with me that long. So when you're together that long, now everybody knows each other and you can really have honest conversations with each other.
Okay. Well, that's the thing where I was getting ready to go, Coach. Right here on my desktop calendar, I got you. I'm looking at possibly going to check you out while you visit Pilates on the 19th.
Okay.
Is that game set for 7 p.m.?
Yes, it should be. Yeah, absolutely. Because I think we have 3 teams. So we have the freshman, JV, and varsity. So that game should be at 7 o'clock.
What's the date on that so our viewers can –
It's January 19th. January 19th, 7 p.m. at Pilates. The reason I'm looking at that game, I mean, Pilates, they seem to be a little bit of a force too. I've seen them on some of the Maryland State rankings in the top 25. So would that be a good matchup to come to?
Yeah. So to give you a little background, Steve Turner, who was at Gonzaga for years. Mm-hmm. When I was at Pilates back with Coach Glick, I didn't have my degree, so I had to go back to Bowie State and finish up. So he asked me who wanted to be, who could I hire as a JV coach? I said, you got to hire Steve Turner. Steve Turner was a great coach for what they call the name is DC Blue Devils, who was really a high power AAU organization back then with Rob Jackson, both great guys. Anyway, to make a long story short, Steve went to Gonzaga. Now he's at Mount Verde Academy. One of his assistant coaches is at Pilates doing a really, really good job. Has slowly built them into a really, really high level competitive team, well-coached team. And so, yeah, it's going to be a dogfight over there for sure. I mean, anybody in our league, that we play on the road, they're going to give us their best shot.
Okay. And then, I do see you got a lot of home games February. That's when I plan on trying to come check you out and you show me your digs. But then again, I see a matchup I think I want to go. I've been to St. Francis twice. I was out there for the crab ball one year, an all-star game that used to be in the county. I wish it was back. That Spaulding St. Francis game, January 27th at St. Francis. That's going to be another strong matchup for you, isn't it? I mean, like you said, your whole conference is pretty tough.
They've got 2 guards, Terrence Jones, Fisk, that are really, really good. Our game was a dogfight at home. Played them really, really early, December 5th. So definitely it was we spotted them a lead, which in the first quarter. And then came roaring back, right? We were down. Honestly, we're down like 16 points. We went on like a 16-0 run. We were down 50-53 or 53-51 going into the fourth quarter. and we had a couple possessions to kind of get us over the hump. And again, their guards really hit some big key shots. Ended up losing by 3, but in this league, it's really about the end, right? We want to win as many games as possible, but it's at Loyola University, and at the end of the day, you got to win 3 to be a champion, and it's at a neutral site. So you want to get the highest seed possible. You want to win out. You want to gain some momentum and gain some confidence. But everybody's 0-0 in the playoffs, right? So you want to do the best job you can. I think we're going to. Our goal is to play your best basketball in February and really make a push.
True that. I'm a big believer in that. Keith, we're getting close to wrapping up. You got a couple questions you want to give the coach before we do that?
Couple things. I wanted to, Coach, if you could. I mean, I can only imagine, Indian Creek School, Huntingtown, St. Mary's, how those places, molded you. You moved a little bit in earlier part of your coaching career, and that could have been just for family purposes, never necessarily school purposes. But how do you feel like that's shaped you in a way? Those experiences, those places, take all that right together.
Yeah, that's a great question.
It is.
I've been a journeyman for sure. Spaulding's been there 7 years. I love it. All those places molded me. I learned a lot from everywhere I've been. The good, the bad, the ugly, right? Probably could write a book about it. I try to share my experiences with my assistant coaches because the goal is to get them and move on. But when it comes to Huntingtown, right? I inherited a staff there, and Vashon Gross, I can't thank enough. I was there for 2 years. And we were able to win a SMAC title and a 3A South Region title to go to Comcast to play in the Final Four. And those relationships with those coaches, Andre Jones, Tobias, I think the one thing that kind of really touches my heart is Tobias Jennifer, who was my JV coach, is the varsity coach there now. And I'm very proud of him. We still stay in contact. So I left. Moved to Indian Creek. Jamie Cook, who was the athletic director now, who's actually the athletic director, Jack, at Meade for Coach.
I met him. Yeah, nice guy.
There, I mean, you would thought I was John Wooden. I made 2 adjustments in my schedule. I love Pat Clatchy to death, but I wasn't. He called me, goes, "Are you going to honor our game?" I'm like, "Well, it's not on our schedule." I said, "I love you," but so I made a couple of, be honest with you. I'm an honest guy. Like, we made a couple of adjustments, and but I honestly didn't think we would start off the way we did with that. We upset St. Paul's, who was top 10 in Baltimore, went up there and beat them. And we started 16-0 and finished 19-4 my first year. And nobody thought we'd win 3 or 5 games. The following year, I lost everybody, came back. We finished 15-13, but I started 4 freshmen. And then, Spaulding, right? Spaulding was I wouldn't be back there without the alumni. Obviously Rudy Gay is the high-profile player, but a guy named Kenny Brackney, who played at Rochester, Corey Hudson, Chris Rutland, Coach Glick and I really, kept developing that program. And kept winning. And if I didn't have great relationships with those kids, I wouldn't have an opportunity. I'd still be in Indian Creek teaching 5th grade math and science at James McHenry over in Lanham, So I really want to thank them. But all those things have molded me. I think the main thing is self-worth and what I bring to the table is what I kind of learned from that. And then also being humble and knowing that I made some mistakes along the way for sure, and then not make the same mistake twice, right? Like, really, I'm not always going to get my way, but I'm going to push the envelope a little bit.
Yep.
But also, again, I say relationships, but it really is the truth, right? Like, having a great relationship with your AD, having a great relationship with your administration is very, very important.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I got to commend you on one thing. Everything I've read the last couple hours since we knew we were going to come on, you talked about your assistants, and you said it's always about the kids.
It's about the growth, right?
Yeah, it's about the growth. It's about the development and growth of the kids, and you should be commended for that. So, guys, last question for me, if I could. We've talked about you a lot, Coach, but do you have an example of maybe one of your players through the years that did something exceptional or created an initiative within the community that made you extremely proud? Maybe somebody that you could shout out tonight.
The first person that comes to mind is Malcolm Delaney. Malcolm, when I was at Towson Catholic, first of all, phenomenal parents, just supported me throughout. Not to say they didn't call me every once in a while and say, "What the hell are you doing?" But they would check me a little bit. And
good coaches always get that.
If they listen to this, they'll laugh. But Malcolm is a self-made player. I was so fortunate to coach him. He made me a better coach. He really did. I think I made him a better player too. Growing up and things like that. But he worked outside the program and all those things, and nothing was handed to him. Going back to his recruitment and getting to Virginia Tech, the Austin Freemans, the Chris Wrights that went to Georgetown, Jeff Teague went to Wake Forest. He was all in that class, Grievous Vasquez, all those guys. And so I go back to being slotted, right? Well, he ended up going to Virginia Tech. Well, he got his degree, is in the Hall of Fame, went overseas, top 5 player in Europe, came back and played with the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Hawks. Played 2 years there, and then he does coat drives. He owns a sports bar in Baltimore. He does some real estate. He does a turkey drive. He does all kinds of stuff. And then at the end, he called me this summer, and said, "Hey, man," he usually does his camp at Curly, and he couldn't do it. So I was able to get his basketball camp to Spaulding this summer, and it was just I love doing it. I was able to hang out with him. And then he gives school supplies it's a 1-day camp. He gave all these school supplies to young kids, and it was awesome. And so, he is somebody that I admire, that I'm proud to say I coached him. The special year we had, his senior year, we went undefeated, won both leagues. We were undefeated in both leagues. We finished 32-6 in that year, and I'll never forget it. It was, I actually got a signed jersey from him finally. I kept messing with him. I'm like, "Can I get a signed jersey?" So he finally gave me one from Milan, Italy. So I got to get a frame for it and put it in. I'm in my office. I got a couple of pictures here, but kind of hang that up. I haven't done it yet, but I'm kind of collecting some jerseys from some guys.
That's why I asked the question, Coach. Great answer. Thanks for sharing that with us. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Coach, this just popped into my head because I was just thinking you were mentioning clinics and workouts and stuff. Does Tracy Bergen work with you?
So no, but Tracy Bergen's a very, very good friend of mine. He does. Dude. I'm sorry, let me take that back.
I thought I saw pictures.
He's not on my staff.
Right.
He works my camp during the summer.
Right.
And he's great. He's great with the kids. Now I got him in our older league, which is great. So when we talk to the kids, we do some fundamentals, 4-on-4 shell drill, some defensive principles, some shooting stuff. He's really, really good with the kids. He works 4 weeks with us, and you're not going to find a better person, DeMatha guy, Loyola guy. But then he also worked at Team Takeover AAU, which is a high-level AAU organization run by Steve. So
Tracy knows ball.
No, Tracy's a really, really. He's got a great feel for the game, and even better with the kids. The kids gravitate towards him. So yes, he's he really helps me a lot with our basketball camp during the summer.
Well, I tell you, we had it in plan last year to try to get Tracy in on March Madness.
Uh-huh.
Because anybody from the area that followed Tracy saw the Sports Illustrated with Tracy on the rim when Loyola made it to the dance.
Yeah, I watched that game. Yeah, it was awesome.
So I'd like to have Tracy come in, kind of analyze the Final Four or analyze the brackets. And something came up and we got bumped. So I don't want him any other time but NCAA basketball time.
We're going to make that happen. I'll make that happen. I'll talk some junk to him.
I got him, and Brian's in his
good.
ear.
I got
So,
you.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to having Tracy Bergen on the show. But I tell you, Coach, I've been looking forward to having you on the show for some time. And I want to thank you for joining us today. We are out of time. I could sit in this chair and talk to you for 2 hours. It's been phenomenal.
I got so many notes here that I can't get to. Maybe I have to have a follow-up here in a couple months or something.
Hey, man, March Madness, man. You said March 4th or somewhere over there.
Okay. Well, look here. I had Mike. I'm sorry. I hate to call him Mike. I had Coach Glick on for the NBA preview this year, and he did a phenomenal job. So maybe we'll bring you in, do a full window, and do NCAA March Madness.
Not a problem. Anytime, man.
Get basketball guys to talk basketball.
Yeah, I got to do my research. But give a shout out to Coach Glick, man. Happy 60th. And he's a mentor of mine. I wouldn't be where I am without him. So I love him to death. He's like an older brother to me. So shout out to him.
Really cool.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Happy birthday, Coach.
Next week, we're going to be welcoming 2025 state champion Coach Friel from Huntingtown Hurricanes. Go Canes. I was at that game. It was phenomenal. Came down to an 83-yard run by this young man. Oh, I got his name around here somewhere, but I'll have it for that interview next week with Coach Friel. What a great and humble coach he is. They've been, I want to say 3-time runner-ups or something like that previously. So this state championship had to feel great for them Hurricanes and their families. So I'm excited to talk to Coach Friel next week. I want to thank the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network for making all of this possible. Get time. Check out Jacob Sloan Foundation, jacobsloanfoundation.com. They do so many tremendous things for the kids all over the state of Maryland. They're based over here in Queen Anne's County. Nothing's too small, big donation, small donation, everything helps the kids. They did great for Christmas, but now it's the new year and kids got other sports coming up. The Jacob Sloan Foundation sponsors kids to play athletics. They bring book bags to opening day of school in September, August, whatever it is nowadays. So look that up, jacobsloanfoundation.com. They're my people. They're right here in the heart. All right.
Really cool.
Well, it's about time to wrap this up, Keith. I want to thank you for being here with me again.
Of course.
And we're going to do this